Let these our colors be till all of time be done, 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 done. On 7 seas we learn Navy stern call. Faith, courage, service, true wit, honor over all. Go Navy! Navy Chief, Navy Pride!
Assault Unit 5. Sailors, agree.
I am a United States sailor. I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, and I will obey the orders of those appointed over me. I represent the fighting spirit of the Navy and those who have gone before me to defend freedom and democracy around the world. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, courage, and commitment. I am committed to excellence and fair treatment of all.
Will the guests please be seated? Military members, parade, rest. Ladies and gentlemen, Assault Craft Unit 5's commanding officer, Captain Nelson.
All right, foot intruders, at ease, please. Check it out a little bit. You know, it's warm out there in ranks. Okay, so first of all, thanks for coming to join us this fine morning. For the families out there in the audience, I just want to offer that what you see here, you know, on the parking lot here at ACU 5 is something that's happening on over 280 ships right now around the world. So we have sailors in the Middle East right now in the Persian Gulf on USS Boxer, John P. Murtha, and they're doing the exact same thing we are. Obviously, time zone difference, but every ship in the Navy, every command Navy who's got chief selects who are putting on khakis today is doing this ceremony this morning. So just some perspective for those of you who don't understand that this is a Navy-wide thing. It's happening around the world as we speak right now. So before I get started, I want to thank a couple folks who've been on a very heavy part in getting these chief selects season and the training completed successfully this year. From the Chief's Mess, Senior Tibbetts and Chief Wickersham, thanks for your guys' great job. Back there somewhere. Okay. And then for the ceremony day, Chief Fry, I know you were the coordinator. I saw her run around somewhere earlier this morning. Is she back in the audience somewhere? There you are. Thanks, Chief. All right, so let's pause for a second to reflect on this moment and the importance of it. We're here to accepting 7. I'm saying 7, but you guys will probably only count 6. One of our Chief Selects is on Boxer right now, so he's here in spirit and virtual presence with our fine social media feed. We're getting back captured here by our PAO folks. But our 7 selectees, they're being accepted today in the professional fraternity of warriors. That is the United States Navy Chief Petty Officers Mess. Most of these sailors started a journey in the same place that most of you guys there in your Type 3s did many years ago. I've got folks up here from New York, California, mostly California. There's even one sailor up here, Chief Select from Alabama. Some of the places they've served over the course of their careers, I'll rattle off a couple commands here that most of you will remember. You've got the USS Boxer, USS Way City, BMU, USS Harper's Ferry, USS Vicksburg, USS Iwo Jima, USS Bellawood, USS Tarawa, USS Germantown. I've even got a Great Lakes instructor up here in front of you guys wearing his khakis this morning. So that's a little bit about where they've come from. Many of those places, many of us have served before as well, which is a great tie-in back to what we do here. As you can tell from the folks in the audience, we've got a lot of family members here. We have some of these folks are of the 6 up here. We've got married, we've got single, and we have quite a few with children in the audience. So that's also a little bit about who we have in front of you here. As far as time in service, our youngest Chief Select up here in front of you put on his khakis in 8 years, which is a pretty impressive achievement. And then we have many who've worked hard for 10, 12, or even 16 years to get to the point they are today. So that's a big accomplishment. So for those of you who are in the audience and you're still wearing a Petty Officer Crow, or you're aspiring to that, I will offer that as a blue shirt, which I'm using an old term here. You guys probably don't know what a blue shirt is, but back when I started, most folks were wearing blue shirts if they hadn't made to put their khakis on yet. Getting selected for chief and standing here in khakis is, and for many of these guys in front of you, was their biggest career milestone, was to be where they are today. So this is a major accomplishment in their careers and professional life. So congratulations on that. I would say now that you guys have achieved that, I'm talking to the chief selects here, that's been your biggest goal for most of your career. I think after the ceremony today, when you get done hugging families and shedding some tears with your family members, I think it's time to take a deep breath and start picking some new goals and adjusting fire, because you guys have bigger things in your sights now that you can start taking into account. For the mess, thank you guys for a very positive and professional training event for your chief selects here. I was very proud of what I saw. I was there on the beach with you guys for a little while last night. I liked what I saw. You guys were doing it very well, and I appreciate that. Please accept them into the mess and mentor them the way you have previous year's selectees. And we will continue to do well with them in your mess. And what I ask for you guys is to continue to emulate this behavior that will make us all proud of our mess and proud to be Swift intruders. To our newest chiefs, continue to set high standards for yourself, both professionally in terms of mission accomplishment and keeping adherence to procedures and keeping our craft and our sailors at the best of their form. Continue to set high standards for yourself personally when it comes to conduct and behavior, and make sure you continue to be a role model for all those around you as you're wearing khakis. And then for your sailors, make sure you challenge them to live up to the same high standards and expectations that got you to where you are now. Because one of your biggest roles is going to be as a mentor and a leader and a positive role model for the folks in our command who are aspiring to wear khakis like you are today. Keep doing it right, and leave the command and our sailors better than when you started this tour here at ACU 5. And then serve the command and lead your sailors with humility and respect. I know it's a big deal putting on khakis, but all of us need to be humble with our new roles. The families out here joining us this morning, congratulations for making it across this major milestone in your son, father, or husband's career. It is a big deal, and I'm glad we take a few minutes to recognize that here today. You should be very proud. Okay, this is a major accomplishment for whether it's your son, your husband, or your father. This is a huge accomplishment in their lives. So I think we're all proud of them. I would say, like I always tell families, thanks for sharing them with us. I know this has been a busy 6 weeks here, getting ready to stand here today. There's been a lot of sacrifices to get up to this point, and there were quite a few made over the last 6 weeks when I saw these folks here working late, getting ready to prepare for the training. So I know there's been a bunch of sacrifices being made on the family front as well, with separations, with moves, and all the hard work to get here. So I will just close up here with saying that the ceremony is not the end of your guys' journey. We will expect more out of you. We will expect more from you. And as you guys all know, with higher rank comes added responsibility and higher expectations. So this is the beginning of a new set of standards that you guys are going to have to live up to. And I'll just leave you guys with a short kind of hybrid quote here that I like from a gentleman, former President Teddy Roosevelt. This is my hybridization of his quote, but I think this is something I've lived personally in my career as well. Is one of the most rewarding things that we can do in life is to have the opportunity to work hard and spend your energy on a job that's worth doing. You guys have done that in spades. And on a task that is worth doing as well. I would say that serving in defense of this great nation certainly qualifies for that kind of a task. So I applaud you for your efforts. I appreciate what you've done, and congratulations on getting here today.
Thank you, Captain. The Navy established the rank of Chief Petty Officer on April 1st, 1893. The initiation process and the use of a charge book dates back to World War II. The commanding officer would issue a charge book to the selected petty officers and task them to meet every chief and learn their responsibilities. They would use the charge book to keep their notes and earn the signatures of those chiefs, and after completing this task and being tested by the captain, he would then promote them to Chief Petty Officer in front of the crew. One of the proudest days, if not the proudest day, in an enlisted person's career is the date on which a first-class petty officer dons the khaki uniform and is accepted into the Chief Petty Officer's mess. we're here today to mark this memorable event for our newly selected Chief Petty Officers. Being selected for Chief is quite an accomplishment and says a great deal about the professional and leadership abilities of each of these new Chief Petty Officers that we honor today. And again, on behalf of the Chief's Mess, I welcome all of you. Senior Chief Brody will now read the anchor.
The Chief's fouled anchor. The fouled anchor is the emblem of the rank of Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. The fouled anchor has long been a symbol of the Chief Petty Officer. In terms of the Chief, the fouled anchor symbolizes the trials and tribulations that every Chief Petty Officer must endure on a daily basis. Attached to the anchor is a length of chain, the letter USN. To the novice, the anchor, chain, and letters only identify the Chief Petty Officer of the United States Navy. But to a chief, these have a more noble and glorious meaning. The U stands for unity, which reminds us of cooperation, maintaining harmony, and continuity of purpose and action. The S stands for service, which reminds us of service to our God, our fellow man, and our Navy. The N stands for navigation, which reminds us to keep ourselves on a true course so that we can walk upright before God and man in our transactions with all mankind, but especially with our fellow chiefs. The chain is symbolic of flexibility. It reminds us of the chain of life that we forge a day by day, link by link, and may be forged with honor, morality, and virtue. The anchor is emblematic of the hope and glory, the fulfillment of all God's promises. To our souls, the golden or precious anchor by which we must be kept steadfast in faith and encouraged to abide in our proper station amidst the storm of temptation, affliction, and persecution.
Thank you, Senior Chief. Our Executive Officer, Commander Atienza, will now read the frocking letter. Military members, attention!
From Commanding Officer Saltcraft Unit 5 to MM1 Mikel Lopez, AM1 Zerdan Canlis, ET1 Arthur Rodriguez, OS1 Christopher Marcial, GSM1 Stephen Miranda, and OS1 Patil Dunn. Subject: authority to assume the title and wear the uniform of a Chief Petty Officer. Per Milper's Manual 1420-060, you are hereby authorized to assume the title and wear the uniform of a Chief Petty Officer effective this date. Your appointment carries with it the obligation that you exercise increased authority and willingly accept greater responsibility. Occupying now a position of greater authority, you must strive with a renewed dedication toward the ideal of service with honor. You will not be entitled to pay and other monetary allowances of a Chief Petty Officer until actually advanced in the pay grade for which you have been selected. Congratulations. Signed, C.M. Nelson, Commanding Officer.
Thank you, sir. Chief Select Michael Lopez will be penned by his wife, Kim, his son, Liam, and his cover will be done by Chief Petty Officer Fry. Military members, stand at ease. Chief Select Zerdan Canlis will be pinned by his fiancée Teresa and Chief Petty Officer Lee. His cover will be donned by Chief Petty Officer DeForest. Chief Select Arthur Rodriguez will be pinned by his wife Brenda, his mother Tina, his brother Isaac, and his daughters Bella and Brisa. His cover will be donned by Chief Petty Officer Smart.
Where's the dad? Back here. I never get chosen for anything. Oh well. And I'm hoping. That's my boy.
Chief Select Christopher Marcial will be pinned by his wife Maho.
I wonder where his dad